Hey guys, what's up? It's Tim Michael from TimMichaelArts.com here with a rush delivery caricature due in literal days. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete it tonight. And I wanted to go ahead and bring you guys into this and let you watch me work on this full speed. I'll have some company because I have you guys. And please don't mind if you hear any music in the background. I got my headphones on trying to keep the mood going. So I have a picture here that I'm not going to show you because this is a client piece, and I'm going to go ahead and just draw what I'm seeing here. And basically I'm going to get quiet sometimes as I work, and you just enjoy the process, and hopefully you can learn from the idea. And if I think of anything fun, I'll pipe up about it. But for now, it's just a matter of thinking fast, because the sooner I can get it to the client, the better. They've paid a rush delivery charge for it, and so the goal here is just to have fun with it like always, but you're going to go as quick as you can to get it completed and make the client happy. So this is going to be a face-only black and white, like I do. They're my cheapest caricature that I sell, face only. So that makes it nice and easy for the client, makes it nice and easy for me, because I'll just do the pre-sketch in here, and then I'll take the final into Illustrator and ink it up so it looks nice and clean, and then from there it'll go off to the client, and they're usually pretty happy about the end progress. So thankfully I haven't had too many clients that haven't liked their pieces. That's always a tough situation when you have a client who doesn't like the work that you do, and you just have to grin and bear it, because the thing is here's the thing to remember, guys, and this is the trick. You need to remember that whenever you get someone who doesn't like your art, remember all the people who did, and as you get more and more involved in your artwork, you start to realize that there's a ton more people who love your work that you don't think about in comparison to the people that don't like your work. And it takes time, it takes practice, but let me tell you something. Once you get the hang of it, and once you understand that there are people out there who don't like it, when they come up and talk to you and be mean to you, it's not that bad. You can bear with it. And you just say, all right, well, thank you very much for stopping by, or thank you very much for ordering. Here's your refund. Get out of here. Not so much get out of here, but certainly in your mind you're kind of like, okay, scram. And it always stinks when you have a client who actually has you draw the whole thing and then just doesn't like the end progress. Now, here online, I will actually draw the piece from start to finish without showing it to the client and then surprising them with it in the end. And usually the surprise is okay. Usually they like the surprise. But there are other times where the client really wants to see the piece. I still say no. I still say that it's part of the magic of being a caricature artist for patience to take its toll, where people feel that they have to wait patiently for the final. So anyway, just going along here, looking at the features. She's probably in her early 60s and late 50s, early 60s probably. So you need to definitely exaggerate on laugh lines and things. Not too much, obviously. She'll probably not like that, but certainly capture those features that are going to show her beauty in her age more than just her more than anything else. So, and I'm paying attention to where her neck is. She's kind of leaning forward ever so slightly on a table. Looks like she's in a restaurant of some sort. Don't want to make those shoulders too big for ladies. You want to keep the shoulders small. Okay. Still sketching. And I'll sketch for 20 minutes or so sometimes, depending on what I'm looking for. And actually, I think I'm going to change this. I think I'm going to go ahead and not do the body. And I'll do my usual, where I'll just do neck and shoulders. So I'll make some changes to this neck. And I'm going to extend her earrings down more. So go ahead and remove that. Okay. Don't mind my breathing. I know that this microphone picks up the breathing really good. A bit too good. Let me tell you guys, I love this microphone. This is the microphone made by Blue, the Snowball. It's incredible. Really worth getting if you guys are interested in podcasting or anything like that. Certainly professional production. Definitely suggest it. And I used to work in radio, and I believe that this personally sounds better than some of the radio microphones that I dealt with back when I worked there. So. Love music. Now, I admit that there are times where I do feel that music has just come to a standstill and it all sounds like the same thing. You know, I'm a big fan of Christian contemporary, which is very repetitive on some of the stations around here. And then I'll try techno and trance. Of course, I want clean stuff. I want just the beats and nothing more. Just try and keep that clean too. And finally, when it comes down to it, you've heard all the songs over 300 or 400 times, and it's just not so exciting anymore. So let's go ahead and get these eyes in here. Now, basically, her eyes are nearly closed. I think it's because that she has longer eyelashes, and she has a heavy eyeliner, so we'll kind of show that a little bit in the pre-sketch, but we may not exaggerate that too much in the final. She does have some bottom eyelashes, and she has this bag, which isn't so much elderly as it. Well, yeah, it's more elderly than it is sleep. It's just like this area here is a shaded area, and since this is a line only drawing, I may not do anything with that. There are times where I'll decide to do some gray tone shading, but I probably won't. I don't know. It depends on how much time I have. Obviously, I'm going to try and get this completed tonight. So the goal is to do it and then go to bed. And of course, I still have to record my Bible lesson for tonight. But I figured that this would kind of make up for all the videos that I've been missing uploading for you guys, all the tutorials. I'm going to be working on some watercolor tutorials soon, as soon as I figure out how to get the camera set up in a good way. I got a nice easel that I'm going to shoot from, and it's going to look real nice, hopefully, once I figure out how to do it. Okay, that's getting pretty close to what I was thinking. We'll kind of shade some things down here too, just because I can. So I'm going to switch over to my airbrush, and I'm just going to gently airbrush some of the shading in here. And this is not for them nearly as much as it is for me. It kind of helps me realize where things need to be shaded. And I'm going to drop the opacity down. Wish I could turn this music on for you guys to hear, but to be honest, I don't know the legal ramifications of doing that. And of course, next thing you know, YouTube will be on my back, and I want to stick around for a while. So, bum 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 bum. There we go. Okay. It's up in the air sometimes, singing ayo. Kind of bringing down the opacity so I don't freak myself out too much with the lines. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over the image again with a darker blue. The first time was more for just figuring out what I wanted to do. This blue that I'm going to lay down here is going to be a bit more of the final product look. And then it's going to go into Adobe Illustrator where I'll ink it. But this just helps me make sure I'm really liking what I'm doing here, you know. So we're going to go ahead and take all the settings off. I'm going to check my transfers and make sure they're off. Now it's going to lay a pretty hard line down. And this is going to be the finalese, as you would say. As you wouldn't say, because I don't think finalese is even a word. I would do some puns or jokes or something for you, but it's kind of hard to talk at the same time as listening to music. Have you noticed that? I got it up pretty loud, too, so kind of yelling over myself right now. You're plugging your ears over there now, aren't you? Yeah. It's getting hot in here. Where's my fan? I got some headphones that have the sound removal, whatever they call that. It works really good. If you're going to be in art, you need to have some good headphones. You need to have a really good desk chair. You need to have all the good stuff. Be willing to spend a few bucks for your own comfort. You will need it. You will seriously need it. I've already asked help from chiropractors and stuff, and they've clicked me back together, and I kind of need to go see one again soon, so if anyone knows any Christian chiropractors in the Orlando area, let me know. My back could use a little adjustment, probably. It's weird, though, when they do that, isn't it? Have you guys ever been through chiropractic care? Oh, man, it feels so weird. It feels like you just broke your neck with a crack that you hear and how they yank you around. But, man, oh, man, it feels so good when you get back up, My first time having it, and my last time, to be honest, was from a gentleman who was at Disney, and I was talking to him and his son. I was drawing his son, and I asked him, what should I do? Because I'm kind of hurting here, and he said, well, come on down to my room. What did I just drop? Oh, sorry, that was my violin bow. No, I don't play violin very well, so don't ask me to play on YouTube just yet. I kind of mess around. I auto-tune my violin if I play it for any of my music, so all self-study, of course. You don't have to go to school to learn the fun stuff, I promise. Okay. Paul Data, I think that's his name on YouTube, is really good on the violin. And Eric Stanley, they're both very good. Yes, Eric, I just mentioned your name. I don't think he'd care, because he's already been on, the Today Show and stuff. I doubt that my videos will ever get me up to that stage where I get to go on television, but that's okay. You getting dizzy yet? Maya, oh, Maya, oh, Maya, ah. Yeah, that's the stuff I listen to. Oh, Maya, oh, Maya, oh. Not everyone has that little thing under their nose. Let's see how that looks. Her nose, and I'm trying to talk about her eyes. Wow. Her eyes are a bit smaller than I've drawn them here, so I'm probably going to shrink them down a little bit. And I'm hopefully doing this on another layer. Which I'm not. Oh, no. That's a stupid mistake, and I don't think I can save it, because... Let's see if I can. I doubt that I can, though. Well, maybe I can. If the color is too close to the original blue that I did, then it won't read. So we'll see. So what I'm doing here is I got the magic wand, and I'm selecting all those deep blues that I've been using to draw this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hopefully they're dark enough where I can take them and copy them over to another layer. Okay, so we're going to go like this. And you didn't see what it did, but what it did was it went layer, new, and layer via cut. It's already been cut, so hopefully over here, it's close enough. Definitely cut some stuff out of there, didn't it? That's how it goes. but I can turn these layers off now and see what's underneath, which looks okay for now. And then I can edit it later. I mean, right now, this is all for me. This is not for the client. This is all for me. The client becomes important when I get into Adobe Illustrator. Make sure I'm on the right layer this time. That was a close call, to be honest, because then I would have had to start over the whole face structure again with the harder inks. And like I said, the reason I do this is because I really just want to make sure I'm getting my line work correct. I want to make sure that I'm definitely portraying this person properly. So by redrawing it over like 2 or 3 times just in the structuring process, it helps me make sure. And it's actually not time wasting, because in doing this construction here, I'm making sure, you know, obviously that it looks like the client, which means that I'm not going to have to come back because I didn't like the likeness. I'm paying more attention to close-up features and stuff. And so just looking at gaps here, like there's a big dark gap on the side here where her smile is, and she's got this pretty round bottom lip that starts about right here, goes till about right here, so let's go ahead and do that. Oops. Let me go ahead and get rid of my dots here. I was doing that for you guys than for me or the drawing. And then kind of go like that just to give a little highlight on her lip. I've learned that if you want to go comic, you do triangles. And it's really, really simple. And you'd be surprised. I'll do a drawing sometime and I'll put the triangles in there, and you'll feel like it came out of a comic book. Because that's how they handle their shading. See this triangle right here, this big triangle right here, all of that. That's just how people read blacks. You know, full black fills. So like right here's the triangle there. There could be one right there. Kind of like that. I'm going to leave that one there though, just for my sake, because I could fill that in. I like to leave them unfilled though, you know. So we're at 17 minutes, which is about what I was planning on shooting for. Now, obviously, there's a few more minutes in this drawing. Little triangle right there. Just try it sometime. Try drawing with triangles. So maybe like right here, you do a triangle. Here instead, you do one here, like that. And when it all adds up and you look at the full picture, it really starts looking like what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, now I definitely don't want to make her look this fat, so I'm going to cut down the cheek that I worked on here. I'm going to take an inner line. That's why it's good to scrape out your pre-sketches, because it helps you look and see some lines that you can draw from. She's got a pretty big chin, so you need to make sure that that shows. But look at all these lines here. You see all these little scrapes? I can choose one that I like, the one that I feel suits her the best, and that will be the one that I can do some of my line work off of. Like this here coming from this side of the face. And this is in deep shadow here, so I'm kind of eyeballing with my imagination. Man, when I'm listening to music and talking at the same time, I make no sense, do I? Like this video! If I make no sense, I'll get a lot of likes that way. Dance floor, everybody on the floor. I like the older songs, you know? Okay. She's got all this hair. Nice thing is, if I can get this piece done in an hour, and this has only taken 20 minutes to do this so far, then that means that for the sale that I've made, I will have easily worked about $20 an hour for it, which is good pay. Now, that's not including after taxes have been taken away, but usually you don't consider that until after the fact anyway. When you become a businessman, it starts to add up on you, and you start to realize, wow, I'm not getting much. You know, even when you charge extra for rush deliveries and certain things, it's just how it goes. I appreciate the people who are willing to give my art a shot, though. I mean, it says a lot about them and a lot about, you know, their appreciation for your work. And the client I'm working with on this piece is a very, very sweet person. You can tell just in their emails. And it's nice to have those kinds of people, you know. You want to do extra. You want to go the extra mile for them. So I'm seeing some angles in this drawing that I don't like nearly as much as I like in the actual picture. So I'm going to change some lines here. Like, this is looking far too rounded. So I'm going to cut straight down with this. And then I'm going to kind of jet in for a jaw. And then I'm going to take this down into the neck. Just a little bit. And it's going to connect into the edge of the neck. Sure hope the client never watches this. Not the client, but the person who will be receiving this piece. Thing is, I speak in very literal terms when I'm with you guys. You know, I tell you exactly what I'm doing and exactly what I'm seeing. That's not good if you're doing that in front of the client. Alright, let's go ahead and change these eyes up a little. I'm going to leave the eyebrows white where they are, but I'm going to go ahead and get my polygonal tool, select one of these eyes, and I'm going to layer via cut, and then I'm going to go over here, select the other eye, go and select the layer that eye is on, and cut that one too. So now I should have two eyes that I can blink and do weird things at you here. Hey, honey. Okay, and then I'm going to take this eye, and I'm going to shrink it down a little. And I'm also going to rotate it down just a bit. And maybe close it just a little bit more. Yeah, it looks more promising there. Let's give that a shot, and then we'll go over to the other eye. And I'm going to close this one up a bit too. There we go. Let's see how much I like that. Getting closer. I'm getting closer, but I still don't like it so much. So I'm going to freak you guys out here. We're going to hide all of this. And I'm going to take these layers, and I'm going to put them in a group. Just like that. And then we'll start over again. So I'll get my light blue, and we'll go in for another take. This time I'm going to be a little bit more cartoony with it and see how much I like that. Because I'm the person who draws it, not the client who purchases it. They give the final word on how much they like it, but my job is to come up with the final look. And by doing this goes the extra mile. Because I could send that to them and they'd probably be fairly satisfied with it, but I'm not satisfied. I mean, I may go back and find the changes that I want to make in the future, you know, tomorrow, but I'd like to have it to them by tonight, you know. I'll stay up late to get it done. Her eyes are nearly closed, so I might leave it kind of like that. And then I may define the eye in there, kind of like that. Which is kind of like what you see in the picture. So I might leave that. That looks kind of cool. And let's go ahead and find this mouth. Definitely exaggerating the mouth. Nice big smile. Very pretty smile. White teeth, dark lipstick. Really brings out the teeth, makes them look whiter. Doot, 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 doot. That's looking a little better, actually. Looks pretty Asian at the moment. Really, if I wanted to do a true exaggeration of this, I would take this chin down to like here. But I'm not going to do that. And the only reason why is because I'm a nice artist. Exaggeration is good if the client likes the finished work. Other artists would disagree with me. They'd say exaggeration is good if you like the final piece. The thing is I rarely like the final piece. I mean, I'm happy with some of them, but never to the extent that I would be excited to, you know, put it someplace in full display of others, like I'm sure this one will be. But, you know, it comes down to, I'm happy when the client's happy. I'm happy when the recipient is happy. Whoever gets this and it is their gift. You know, this is a special gift for someone special. I'm not sure who, but that's what makes it exciting for me. Someone bought this as a gift for someone else because my artwork is worth giving as a gift. That's cool. I don't need to enter competitions. I don't need to enter, you know, things to prove how good I am. The people who purchase it and give it to their friends as a gift, that to me is my reward. That to me is the best it gets. You can't beat that with a stick. Yeah, this is looking much more like her. I don't like it as much as I liked the first one, but at the same time, it really does look more like her. I'll cut some things down that way. They're not too exaggerated, but because right now she looks drunk, and she's definitely not looking drunk in the picture. Actually, I hate this song. Let's change that. I hate this song. I told him a long time ago I didn't like this song. Songs that talk about drinking and alcohol and stupid stuff like that, I just don't like it. You know, if I'm going to draw, I want to draw with positive music that gives me a positive attitude, you know? I love listening to stuff like Yanni and even Hans Zimmer. You know, the guy who wrote a lot of the stuff for a bunch of the different Disney movies. Let's see here. Let's turn on some Yanni. But it needs to be some of his faster stuff. You know, his slow stuff doesn't really work for me, but his faster stuff is nice. He's come out with some nice new songs too, where he's got like a techno vibe in them, and those are really cool. I think he has one called "The Storm" or something like that. But I remember listening to Yanni when I was a little kid, because my grandmother had all of his CDs, and I'd sneak into her office and take a couple and listen to them, and then give them back to her when I was done. She was always very sweet. She lived with us for a little while. I don't think she ever would have expected her grandson would end up being a youth pastor and a full-time artist. At that time, I played piano, and I played only one song, and it drove her absolutely batty. She hated it, because I played it over and over and over again, and she's like, "When are you going to learn a new song?" And I'm going, "I don't know how." I played the coloring song from Petra. So I'm raising up the mouth and the nose. I feel that they could be a bit closer to the eyes. That looks much better, actually. Much closer to what I was feeling. I can still change a couple things, but this looks much better. So you guys have already been watching for 32 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and... I want to stop the video because I know that much longer than this is going to be crazy. But at the same time, you know, let's keep going. I'm gonna go ahead and make this a full length. And hope I don't regret it later in the renderings. I'll just put a note on the video that says extended video or something that lets you guys know that it's way too long for humans to stay awake at. Yeah. Alright, let's go in with the darker stuff. Going with some really dark stuff. Turn off all of my settings. Check my transfer is off, which is good. Which means the lines are going to be a little bit harder. And we're going to make our new layer. And here we go. And I'm still going to scrape it out, but I'm going to scrape it out a little bit more. As I've heard said, I'm going to scrape it out a bit more with authority. Wow, this Yanni song sounds like something from Hans Zimmer. And I'm going to fill this in. It's like she has big pupils, or just her eyelids, or her eyelashes are so big they're covering over her eyes. And this is the eye here that makes her look cross-eyed in my picture, so I need to make sure to hide that. And then also, whoops, give me that line back. Step forward. There we go. And then also with this one, it looks almost a little bit more open than the other one, so, and it has a little area here where it's like a flap. So I'm going to put that in there. It's not a flap so much, it's just how the eyelid is. So I'm going to put that in there. There we go. She has a pretty deep line on her eyelid here. Using those triangles just because it's part of my design. It's just how I work. Like I said, I probably won't use them in the final image. And the thing is the more of those triangles that you put in, the more it looks like the wrinkles are heavier, and the more it looks like a male caricature. So if I'm doing like a gangster piece or something, like on one of my gigs at the theme park, then I will, like I did that one just on Saturday, and I drew this real gangster couple, and had a blast with it, and they loved it. The guy had gold bottom teeth, and he took them off for me and showed me what his normal teeth looked like and everything. It's crazy what you get walking by. Good people though. Okay. Keep all that stuff as thin as possible. The thicker that you make that, the more it shows. Now this is weird. This cheek goes like this. It just goes straight out to the mouth, and then this one slants in. So we don't want to exaggerate that too much, but let's do a little bit. There we go. And then once it gets out here to the mouth, then it cuts back and goes down towards the cheek. Towards the chin. It actually kind of folds around the chin, but I'm gonna leave that as is. And remember, it doesn't have to be exact. I mean, you're trying to get their likeness, and I've already gotten the likeness. But I'm picky, you know? It's always good to know when you have a picky artist doing a piece for you. Because just so they're not delaying the piece getting done in time, I'll let them take as long as they want if it means that it's going to get better. Never rush an artist, not even a caricature artist. Caricature artists can draw real fast, obviously. I mean, I can do this on normal paper for clients at the theme park in a matter of minutes. And I mean just mere minutes. But here at home, I put a little bit more stock in my work. My work is going to bring back clients. So I want to make sure instead of just doing it for just a basic caricature that I'm going to draw and the person leaves like a tourist, I want to make sure it's really good. That way the client goes, okay, we're having another event, and our main person would probably like a gift. Well, Tim Michael's got some really cheap caricatures that look really good, and it didn't cost me very much to buy this one from him, so why don't I just go ahead and buy another one for the next person, you know? So it works out in the end. Let me lower my chair. There we go. And actually, my chair barely fits in the nook here, just like this, and I can slide in really close high. Where's my Diet Coke? Oh. Problem is when I get really, really low in this chair, then I scoot in all the way into the desk, and then I lean back. You gotta lock your chair in position if you're gonna get this close to your desk. I look like a midget sitting behind this thing right now. Here we go. So you guys excited about the watercolor tutorials? I'm definitely gonna do them. It's a plan. It's a fact, because when I'm at the theme park, that's what I do. I do watercolor. And it works great, and it looks fantastic. I know I showed you one of my pieces in my sketchbook when I mentioned it. And if you guys have not seen the video, that's because you're not subscribed to my secondary channel, Tim Michael Arts 2, which means you're really missing out on a lot of the stuff that I'm up to. So you need to go ahead and get over to Tim Michael Arts 2 and get signed up there as well. Okay? You're doing yourselves a favor if you do. And then, what else? So yeah, we talked about the watercolor over on the other channel and a couple other things. Now I'm going to make this line around the side of her face a little thick. And I'm going to kind of cut back in, kind of like that. And it doesn't look very clean, but it gives the definition that I need for now. A lot of this stuff is for now stuff, because remember, I'm still doing this for myself. Change my brush size down. Kind of make these here triangle, sort of, but that's what I think about. And then here's really, I don't know if those are hearts on her ears, but whatever they are, they're really cute. So I'm making them hearts anyway because it just looks cute. Big silver plumes, whatever you call those things that you hang off the plumb line. So yeah, plums. And I'm going to put the top of it in here as well. And I think this will be the piece that I finalize because this looks really good. I think it handles her cheek a little better too. Over here on this side. And that was my main concern because I didn't like how it was looking on the other one. So this comes down like this. And then this comes over. And then I'm going to cut this one in here. And then extend it down here to the collar. And I'm just going to kind of scrape out this stuff here. And I'm going to give her like a white shirt collar sort of look. She's wearing a jean jacket in this caricature. And it looks really good, but since I'm doing this in black and white, it's better just to go ahead and plan on defining things as best as you can. And I feel that the white t-shirt white collar shirt really gives an extra appeal to the piece. That's very nice. That's very nice. I'm going to turn the eye a little bit like I did before, but it looks really cool. Because this eye is definitely rotated more. So just a bit. For now I'll do it like that, and I'll probably extend this down like this. Yeah, that's it right there. That's what I'm thinking of. And then I don't like, let me make my pen smaller, my eraser. I don't like how thick that is. So I'm just going to thin that up a little. There we go. And let's take a look again. Nice. Very nice. Now she's got a little bit more definition around the cheek area, so I'm going to make a new layer. Even though I could go over the old layer, but it's just quicker. And then I'm going to make another new layer, which means I just laid down one line in that last layer. But when I do the hair, I really should do it on a separate layer. I don't always. But you never know when you just want to like completely adjust the look of the hair, maybe warp it or something, or just change the overall size of it. And so having it on its own layer is really helpful. So we'll see if I end up deciding to do that. I'll show you what I mean. But doing a lot of the main areas, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the outside of the face, doing them all on separate layers is the best policy. I don't, but it probably would be the best policy. And the sad thing is, see, I don't even save. So let me go ahead and save this. Save as. Okay. And we're going to call this one Principal. Because supposedly the principal asked the lady to do this in quick order, so that's why we're rushing to get it done today. It's 12 o'clock at night, which is actually not bad at all. I usually try to... in the past couple days I've been trying to get to bed early. And every night I've been staying up just a little bit later once again. And I think last night I stayed up till 2. So hopefully tonight I won't do that. And hopefully I can still get out this order really quick. Okay, I don't like the neck. Makes her look like a turtle. And she's definitely not a turtle. So I'm going to go find where that line work is. I'm going to go ahead and erase that. It's not that exaggerated. So I'm just going to take it pretty much straight down. Then I'll thin it. Yeah, it's a little better. It's a little thick, but I'll fix that in post. Okay. Think that I want to raise up the eyelid on this eye. So instead of that, we're going to take it up even higher, kind of like that. Yeah, because it really tucks up in there, almost against the eyebrow. Give her some bottom lashes here. And just, alright, just for the sake of fun, let me go ahead and shade this a little bit like I did with the last one and see how much I like it. I am going to change the hair a little bit. Let me show you what I'm talking about with this hair. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my pre-sketch layers. There we go. That looks very good. But I still don't like the hair, so I'm going to go Image, Transform, and Warp. That's going to bring the box over her. And if there is only the hair that I messed with, which I think I messed with a few more things other than the hair, but let's just take it and stretch it out a little bit and pull it around. Yeah, that's a bit closer. And I'm going to tuck in some of the body from the back here, just a hair. Yeah, it was funny. Okay. I'm going to pull this over this way. So that's the nice thing about warping it, because you can fix it quicker. Take it up a little bit higher, maybe. What if I went like this? This is just playing with it until I find what I like. I think my problem is this whole area here. Yep, that's what it was. Got that straightened out, so now it looks a little better. Got to be careful because of that connecting line there. So if I like this, I'll want to probably readjust that a little bit. I'm going to finalize that by hitting Enter. And just going to double check this line here. And then I'll erase the pre-line. Yeah, I think that's it. So creating a new layer, I'm just going to pull it down to here. And let's just grab just a little blue. Turn on all my settings, drop my opacities way down. And my personal opinion is the bigger the airbrushing that you can do, the better it's going to look. Now, it helps to have pre-masked everything, and I didn't, so what you're going to see here is a very mishmash look. I'm going to drop the opacity down even more. And I'm just going to go in here really lightly, because this is just me just double checking my work. If I airbrush it kind of sort of how I see it in the picture, it's going to tell me how close I am. That's just me personally. It's not everybody, but it works for me. And I like going and seeing how it would look if I had airbrushed it anyway. It's kind of my little practice lesson in the middle of the drawing. So like I said, the bigger the airbrush, I feel, the better it's going to look. Because it makes all the shading smoother. Because if you get really small, then it starts to look choppy, and it makes the shadows not look as rounded like on the cheeks and stuff. So you got to be careful. So it's almost an hour now. That's pretty close. It would definitely look better if it was in color. But the client didn't order color, so you bear with what you got. Turn these off, get my opacity back up. Go back here and select the color. And whoops. Still in airbrush mode. There we go. Just extend this hair over this way just a touch. And take this side just a bit smaller. Oh, that did it right there. That did it. Yeah, those eyes look like they're matching up a little bit better now. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to drop it too low, but dropping it lower definitely helps. I'm going to select this eyebrow and bring it down a touch too. Got to find the layer that the eyebrow is on. Select that. And then I can drop it down as well. Not too low, but that's pretty close. And then I'm also going to go here into the eyebrow. And she's got it a little rounded in the front. Working its way up. And same thing on this side, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it on this layer anyway. So just shade it in here a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and select the overall layers here, and I'm just going to widen the face just a little. Where's that eye? There it is. Open it up just a touch more. Take another look. There's the eyebrows. Okay, that didn't look right. And remove the background. I'm noticing that her head is tilting backward in the picture, and that adds to her persona, so I'm going to see what happens if I tilt her head back just a little. That looks pretty cool. Her hair is also making it tilted back a little extra, but I think that that's going to about do it for this piece. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here, render it and put it online, and then hopefully show you guys the Illustrator part next. Okay? So make sure you subscribe, rate, comment, and please don't comment that the video was too long. I know it's too long, and you chose to watch it. There's always fast forward. So anyway, just to finish this off, of course, as we get up to 53 minutes, just come down here into my corner here, and there we go. So now let's go over to Illustrator, and once I get back from Illustrator, then we will finalize this, which means I'll lay it into another piece of paper just like what we have here, and it'll be done. So I'll just size it up here, the size I want it to be. I'll probably want to redo my name after I finish it, but this is it, my friends. So, love you all, and I will see you in a few minutes in the next video, and I hope that hope this makes up for all the videos that I haven't been doing for you. And like I said, don't comment because it's too long, because yes, it is far too long. But now that we have more permissions, I can get away with it, and the people who want to watch an hour-long video are welcome to. Welcome to wasting 55 minutes of your day. Love you guys. God bless.